game going. We're gonna watch PaellaOldSchool first with the unit selection, and then we're gonna switch to EG. Let's find out what the boys will be playing. It's going to be our final game on Tour of Varus. PaellaOldSchool leading 1-0, and if they win this game, they will be taking first place. ENDGEGNER will be second. If ENDGEGNER manage to win this game, then they will be giving themselves another chance to fight on grasslands as the tiebreaker between these two teams. Alright, so let's find it out. So a lot of shieldmaiders once again, a lot of stalwarts as well. Shenjis can be seen. Only seeing a single Falconetti at the top right now. So I'm wondering if they will switch it out. 6 units of Cav here. Mostly winged to Zars, a couple Zicalian of course. Quickly switching to ENDGEGNER here. Looks like it's a bit shorter than normally. A lot more Fjord Braccio, I think. Double Falconetti there. Even an Alchemist unit, surprising to see that one. But definitely a ton of Fjord Braccio, even Halberdier Sergeants here. So I feel like PaellaOldSchool are a bit more heavy on the gold units there. Alright, so let's go. Alright, final look at the Varus. This is going to be it. Let's get this game going. Pike Militia going to push the tower from Weeds. Let's see where ENDGEGNER is going. As they are looking to, I think actually, they might be looking to find some kind of position here. We're gonna have to wait and see though. Those are the easy shots. Gotta be quick with those. Oh, nope, that's not gonna be it. He'll be taken out. Oh, really? Oh, Susno, what are you doing, my man? Look at Paella though, making the aggressive pushes here on the wall. They're definitely trying to fight here. For those who haven't noticed, you can actually climb down the ladders now as well, which is really fun. We can see Paella, they're already sitting on the wall, making sure to check out where the boys are going and hiding, if they've sent back the units or not. Wheat's one of the first to find out what's going on there. Alright, it does look like some of Paella definitely hiding inside there. Right, look at Wheats though, he's got the Shenji, he's got the Falconetti, he's going to be the specialist guy for today. Nice shots there with the war rockets from right. That's a really good way to scout, of course. You can see Susno is already sitting. Oh, Chimera. You gotta pay attention there. He might be going down there. Nice jump on the horse. Try and get away now. Ooh. That was close. Looks like they're going to get out though. White's still sitting on his war rockets. He really loves that stuff there. Alright, there we go. Alright, the boys have finally decided to get this game going. Alright, point A is going to be captured. Point B and C will probably follow quickly. Let's find out how ENDGEGNER is going to decide a setup here. The Sicalian are going on top this time. That'll be interesting. Definitely a bit more risky because their ammunition is really limited. They're really good for burst, but if they miss one of their opportunities to really stop a big push, they are really vulnerable, and the frontline units will be having a hard time to defend that center tower. So that will be tricky. At the same time, if PaellaOldSchool group really close to the wall and Susno can get a couple of shots in there, quickly go back to the supply with the Sicalian and then go again. That's a really effective way to wither down at the attackers. Of course, also a bit more tricky. Oh, poor Chimera though. Oh no. He's been having a bad day. Oh, I think his British shields will be dying as well. Yep, looks like they will be done. So that's a small loss already for Susno, Chimera, and the ENDGEGNER boys. It's not the start you want to see. We can see Chimera being really effective on the attack at the final push with the Imperial Shields, really blocking a lot of units there for a long time. And I think Susno is looking for something here. He might... No, there's not going to be any units he can hit there. And even healers are sitting in that center tower. That's interesting. That will be a good way to make sure that spot can always keep going. With strong front line like the shield maidens, like the stalwarts, it's going to be very effective. Ooh, bit vulnerable there at the moment though, like just the stalwarts there, that's not going to last long. Although there's a unit of I think Reapers there was. Yeah, those are Reapers. Alright, we got the Falconetti out for wheat now, shield maidens for white. Looks like the team is going to go to the center here. And you definitely want to watch out, like Wheat is doing with those Falconetti, because if you lose them on the approach, that's going to be really, really bad. Look at ENDGEGNER though, interesting setup here. Alright, they got the Javelins there, that's going to be effective. Chimera this time with the Reapers. Yep, alright, we can see the Scout once again. This is becoming a really popular strategy, scouting with the heroes, trying to find a couple of the specialist units that may be hiding there. Nice setup there though. Fortebraccio, Stalwarts, there's not a lot that can actually go through that. Especially with the double shield maiden here and the javelins sitting at the other side of the flank as well. Like even a couple good traps will not remove you from this position as the defender. You can see them trying to go in. Oh, nice job there from the pike on Paella's side, trying to get in there. He's going to be taken out. Good job, Fiance. Oh, but that was a nice distraction though. The longsword actually making it through. We can also see the spear getting in there, trying to go for the Zakalian. Look at all the Zakalian, they're gone. Ammunition gone as well. That's not a lot of effectiveness here. I mean, he might be getting white here for the kill, but those Zakalian are way more important for killing other units. Ooh, absolutely insane move there by Weeds going around that corner there. Big trebuchet coming in on the Armed Reapers that were trying to go in the back there. Chimera still holding his position there with the Reapers and also with the Fortebraccio, I think. Although he died for it. ENDGEGNER still holding the position really well there. The front line didn't fall, even though the... Oh, they got double Fortebraccio now set up inside that center tower. They really want to prevent PaellaOldSchool from getting into that tower, that's for sure. Alright, we're gonna get some more Fortebraccio out of Susno there. And the healing is really starting to pay out, I think, here. With the Alchemist, even if you got a couple left alive, they will heal up all of your units so quickly. And this means that even though a couple of suicides have happened for PaellaOldSchool, and a couple of units or heroes might be low, they'll be back to full health quite quickly. Trebuchet flying in, don't think that hit anything. Yeah, you can see White and Weeds have really been playing this map a lot. Look at them going around it. This is absolutely trickery mastery here. Ooh, but he's getting wide by the shield maidens. Really good job there by Chimera and the boys. They're going to flank it this time. Trap has already been flying in, so this is not going to do much. Weeds is in the back though, at the center, but the Fortebraccio doing really good work there. Looks like Susno and the boys are really holding strong. Another unit of Fortebraccio there. The whole fight is just evolving around this position. Chimera's good drop though. Really strong push with the shield maiden from PaellaOldSchool is going on there. Even though ENDGEGNER is still holding strong at the center, looks like slowly but surely PaellaOldSchool is gaining some ground here on top of the wall. Zakalian militia are getting in position as well. If those Zakalian militia can throw inside the tower, that's going to be done. Vine's getting killed once again with the pike by Susno, doing a really good job there on the point. It's such a messy fight now. The units will start to go in soon. As long as Susno can hold out with the Fortebraccio though, that will be really good for him. Doesn't look like we'll be holding out for much longer though. Shieldman is pushing through finally. Weeds is trying to get back up there with his Shenji as quickly as he can. We can see the Winged Hussars going to the right side as well. So PaellaOldSchool is probably going to try and open up the right side. Yep, you can see it there. Already a glaive and a poleaxe trying to open up defenses of ENDGEGNER. As we can see, white is going to go into the shield maintenance on this left side. ENDGEGNER have tried to reinforce the center, but left a gap open on the right side. PaellaOldSchool are looking to go for their season win here with the Rustic division. They definitely want to get this first place against ENDGEGNER here. Double Shenji sitting on the wall is going to be a really strong position from the top here. Look at this. Almost nothing left for ENDGEGNER on the point right now. All the units are gone. Doesn't look like they've got much left in the pocket right now. Hobbit Sarge is coming out from Chimera, but that's not going to do a lot. Susnows with the Falconetti, they're gonna do work, but they need to be in position really quickly and really well, because look at that, the flank is already coming as well from the boys from PaellaOldSchool. Those Hobbit Sarges doing a great job though, holding off that unit. And they're gonna have to protect the Falconetti now from the Cav, as the Cav's going to fly in. Hussars charged, nice charge there, Starbucks Gario dropping down. But they're gonna have to get on the point, only 1 second left, oh my goodness. Falconetti shells being pushed on the point now. Falconetti's shooting Sandy just as well. Look at those wheat skills coming in, doing a great job. ENDGEGNER dying one by one, as PaellaOldSchool have got the lockdown there on those stairs. More bombs going to fly in. That's actually going to be hit as well. Not hitting with the shots, but wheat is going to reposition here. Only 1 second needed, but you can see that ENDGEGNER actually managed to pull it back in their hands. Those Falconetti really doing a lot of work there for Susno, I think. He's got all of them still. And they actually got the Shenji as well. Nice catch. You could see Wheats trying to get out of there, but wasn't in time. And actually this might be the turnaround point for ENDGEGNER here. If they can get the Shenji as well, that will be very, very important for the next fight, because Wheats for sure lost his Shenji. And I think the other Shenji were also lost, at least most of them. Let's find out. Alright, Wheats at least got his Falconetti still. So Pella do have one more unit of a specialist there. But other than that, it's going to be a really, really close fight here. 900 to 900 here, still left for both sides. This was only the first real push, although there was a lot of like baiting around that center tower. We could see a couple cool pushes in there. Actually, really nice to see her. Alright, white still gotta come back from the dead. Let's find out. Alright, we can see Chimera's on his last legs here with the Hobbit Sergeants. He's gonna have to protect the Sicalian here and also the Falconetti. Let's see if Susno can find a really nice position with his Falconetti, because those are going to be so important. And ENDGEGNER cannot afford to step off the point though. Only 1 second is required, I think, to actually take that. Susno trying to find the correct position for his Falconetti to shoot at that center tower. You can see Wheats already made it up there. A nice hit there on the single shield maiden. Precision bombardments here going on. But definitely a lot of guys sitting on their last unit here. We can see Wheats with the one, we can see Chimera with the one. And he's probably not going to be alone here. Alright, those Falconetti from Wheats, they're gonna have to do work now. Oh, nice counter Falconetti though. Wheats is starting to lose his own Falconetti. PaellaOldSchool, they're gonna be careful here. And this is the great stuff about Falconetti. If you manage to get the jump on your opponent, you'll be first to take out those boys. Nice trebuchet is going to come in. I hope for Susno he's going to get him out quickly, but I don't think so. Oh, that's another point in the Falconetti there. Oh, that was definitely a hit on the Falconetti there. On at least one unit. Nuxa Susno is getting his Falconetti in there. Gotta go somewhere though, but where do you go now? Falconetti from Wheat still firing. This is starting to turn into a full-on barrage now before the real fight is going to go. Shield Maiden trying to block some shots, but it's not going to be perfect here. Wheats playing it cool, just holding off. More traps trying to fly in. Susno still got his Falconetti left. Wheats same though. They're definitely protecting those units really well. Alright, we can see white. He's moving in his stalwarts. Smoke popping off as well. So you can see Wheats and his team is actually moving to the point now. And they have to respawn quickly because they couldn't see everything because of the smoke. So that was really well done there. I think Chimera is trying to flank with the Help Sergeant. It's not the most effective unit to flank. Can do really well, but not the most effective here. So Kalian Militia and more Help Sergeants sitting on a point, trying to make sure that the PaellaOldSchool will not be capturing it before they can hold their defenses. At least we have a unit of Imperial Shields, 2 units of Imperial Shields still for ENDGEGNER there. Stalwarts versus Imperial Shields. The damage is there, definitely. Chimera fighting off a lot of shield maintenance here. That's going to work out well for him. He's going to run quickly. He might be the first to fall here. Yep, there we go. Quad kill coming in for Rustic. As Weeds. Oh no, that's Help Sergeant's not in position there for Chimera. Falconetti doing work though now. Alright, looks like the fight is going to go. Yep, there we go. Alright, so let's see what's going to go on here. Falconetti shooting for both sides actually. Oh no, Weeds and Falconetti are out of ammo. So it's only Susan's Falconetti now shooting. We can see the Modal moving in from ENDGEGNER, killing Weeds there. Stepbros White still holding strong with his stalwarts, but actually most of them already dropping. We can see the Cav coming in though. This is a huge flank from the Cav. Double Cav going to come in as well. Waiting for the second charge. Wing to Monastics though from ENDGEGNER on the point just as well. A lot of shield maidens killing Susno there. Weeds already dead. We can see White. He's going to come back with a new unit, but that's the point. Yep, there we go. Nothing on the point. Paella taking the win here. What a quick game suddenly. Ah, that was really well. Alright, Paella take it. I don't think to the surprise of many, but definitely really well done there from Paella. Weeds and the boys taking the win here. It was a close one at the end, but not enough. Stepbros Bird here with the second place. I think it was, who was it this time? Stepbros Ups this time with the MVP there. But definitely Bird and Erotic doing a lot of work in there as well. Over 1 million unit damage. Kalimochor. Alright, only required 2 big fights here. And a couple small skirmishes for PaellaOldSchool to take the win. Amazing game. Really well played by both sides. And they're definitely showing up a strong defense at that center tower with all the Forte Braccio there. But Paella showing their game knowledge here. That was a good game. That was a good game. Alright, let's go. Susno actually getting MVP here for his team as the team captain. Chimera sitting somewhere lower though. But not too bad. He's getting a couple Falconetti there. Then we have Gaba 12849 and also Limit Breaker 32169. That was it. The time was definitely starting to run low there. Alright, well, that was fun, guys. I hope you enjoyed this stream. It was definitely a lot different than normal. For those who tune in later, the overview wasn't working. So that's why we had to come up with a different solution, and we managed to get the camera's perspectives in from different players. As you can see, the graph there, really good fight, no doubt about it, in the first one. And then the second one also gapped actually, but absolutely, like there was 2 really long fights there, for sure. Good job though. Good job. Yeah, Paella definitely capping ENDGEGNER here. Taking the win. Good job from the boys. They'll be celebrating for sure.